All right, welcome everyone. My name is Kelly Vincent. This evening is dedicated to first responders, military, veterans, prior service, anybody in the service industry when it comes to your country or when it comes to fire and police, or even nurses, anybody who's a first responder. I felt inclined to have this talk because, I'm going to make some statements on here. So I'm going to set this up for everybody so you know where I'm coming from. First of all, if anything I say sounds political, it's not. I do not want to raise any kind of political opinions or anything like that. If I make a statement about something, it's just because I'm making a statement about what I know to be fact. And it's not to really have any other insinuations or any other deeper meanings other than there's just facts and non-facts. And really, I want to be inclusive with the people who put their lives on the line, whether it be for your community, your country, for the people you care about. And so this is specifically for you. And the first thing I want to say is thank you for your service. Thank you for doing what you've done or what you're currently doing now. A lot of people tell me thanks for your service, and I take it as a grain of salt. Not because I don't appreciate that, because it immediately makes me think of the people who, in my opinion, are left behind sometimes, where they come back or they're involved in a circumstance and really there's nowhere for them to go. And I've come to a conclusion in my lifetime that, serving in the military or being a first responder is a definite choice. It was a choice on that person's behalf, and it can have a lot of reasons behind it. But the biggest thing I think that happens when you're part of something bigger than yourself is that you have this mission that you've been on, and you're surrounded with people that are on that same mission. And then when that conflict or whatever it is over, you come back or you step down to, people are missing a mission. And, the statistic says that 22 service members a day commit suicide. They have PTSD. They don't have a place they could fit in or to go. And actually anymore, there is a lot of places to go. But really, to me, I think it's important for people to have that mission that takes them further than from whatever mission they came back from. And, that includes any kind of first responder, any kind of military. And it's sad to me to see that, people are left out or they just don't have a place where they could fit in and be part of a unit, AKA we call a team, and be part of something bigger than themselves again, but they at the same time can help themselves, which I feel is extremely important. So back in the day, when I was talking to a few of my mentors, a lot of them told me, I had these big aspirations to do this and that. And, a couple of them told me, it took me aside and said, listen, until you help yourself, you can't really help that many people. If you're broke, how many people can you help? If you can't even help yourself, there's not too much effect you're going to have on people around you. And that hit home for me. And through this process of this industry that I've been part of for going on about 15 years now, I've been enlightened to see what can happen when you take grasp of something and participate. And I like to call this mission that I'm on is not giving people handouts, but it's showing people how to learn how to survive, and beyond survival, how to thrive. And I think that's what everybody wants, is they want to be in a position where they can have security, have comforts, and most of all, help their family out and be a huge contribution to their community and outreach to people that are less fortunate than them. Now, the biggest mistake I see in our nation right now is entitlement programs. Again, that's my opinion, because it really doesn't teach anybody how to go beyond just taking a handout. And what we have here is not a handout. And I'm going to get into just some details and have a conversation with you about what transformed for myself by being part of this industry we call network marketing. You know, to be honest, when I first heard about this industry, I scoffed at it. I even laughed at it, and I made fun of people that were part of it. I had no idea what it was about. I didn't take the time to learn, to listen, or understand what it could do for people's health and their lives. And if it's not health, just their wealth and financial predicaments that they're in. This last year, I've taken a lot of notes and seen a lot of stuff and investigated stuff, and people aren't doing great. And not just on a small scale, on a global scale, people are really hurting and suffering and don't have a lot of places to go. And because of that, they're frustrated, they feel discounted, trapped, insecure, untrusting, which I totally understand. And it's a hard place to be in. In fact, it's a hole that some people find themselves in that's so deep, they don't see any way out. The bad news is this, is nobody's gonna come save you. And that's just a hard reality, is there's no fairy gonna show up on your doorstep and make it all better. It's just not present, and it's not gonna happen. But there are things that you can do to take a stand and take ownership of your circumstances, or if you know somebody that has circumstances, and give them a hand up, not a handout, but a hand up. You know, I grew up with 10 brothers and sisters in Huntington Beach, California, since I was, you know, as young as I can remember, which is about 3 years old. You know, I didn't know any better how well off or unwell off my family was, except that, you know, as far as I knew, we had everything that anybody else around me had. You know, a place to live, a room that I shared with two of my brothers. All right, that was unusual because not too many people I knew shared a room with two of their brothers. But, you know, we had a bathroom, two of them for a house of 13. But I didn't know any better. You know, I didn't know, to me, that's normal. When people ask me, well, what's it like growing up with 10 brothers and sisters, Kelly? And I just smiled, because I would say, well, I don't know. What's it like not growing up with that? Because I didn't know any better. You know, that I was accustomed to that, and that was my normal for me. And I'm talking about this because people get into a trap of their circumstances, and either they're told that, you know, they're stuck there and there's no way out, and you got to depend on the 3 F's: friends, family, and federal government, in order to survive in life, or they just give up. And that's why we hear these sad stories of people that either end their lives, or they go off and we see them on the streets homeless, and they give up, right? Because there's no hope. Well, my intention today is to put hope right back into the conversation of people stepping up and having the power to make a decision that, you know, can ultimately change the entire direction of your life. And, you know, and I'm going to get into details about this, but really I'm here to start a conversation So people can be enlightened that, listen, there are things that you can do. There is hope that you can bring yourself and people around you. I'm living proof of that. You know, people talk, I relate to a lot of people because I've had a lot of bad stuff happen. And I've overcome all that bad stuff. And we could list it all out. You know, I've been through divorce. Um, you know, I've been through a lot of pain. I've had business crash on me. I've made bad decisions. I trusted the wrong people. I've been totally betrayed with people that I trusted. I lost tons of money. I dealt with the insurance company. I've, you know, gotten a fight with the IRS. I mean, I've had all kinds of things. I've been in car accidents, many of them, you know, broken bones. I've just, there's a lot of things that could have stopped me and didn't stop me. And I'm here to tell you that I'm sure there's people out there that have much worse, you know, stories that I could drum up. But even so, even when they can do that, there's still somebody on the other side of the planet that would be begging for your circumstances because theirs are so much worse. All right, I can make the immediate example today in Afghanistan. And, you know, those people have some pretty severe circumstances that can make anybody's circumstances look a lot better. And that's the thing is, are you going to succumb to the circumstances you're in? Are you going to look for the way to find a way out of it? Now, I'm going to fast forward into, you know, what we're a part of here. And I see a lot of people that are part of the team right now that have been part of the team Tina and I has created, not just this year, but years ago. And it's great. And I know that a lot of these people circumstances are much better, or at least have a path that has them get up every day with hope in their hearts and in their minds so that they can go out there and make the difference that they want to make in life. I read this statement by Grant Cardone the other day. I posted it on my wall. And he says, if you don't pay the price now, or paying the price now will mean you can pay any price later. And that is so true. Because the first thing I tell people when, you know, they start anything, especially in this business, it's not what you see on Facebook or all these posts on social media about making $10,000 in a day. And I got this training program that's really $9,997 that I'm going to sell to you for $497 today. But you got to act now in order to save $9,500. It's not that. It's not that. Those are really just programs. Maybe they have some good stuff in them. I don't know, but it's not necessary here. What's necessary is the will and the desire and the passion to fight through whatever it is that you have going on right now and be willing to take ownership of all that has happened and to want something better. And if you can't want something better for yourself, then to want something better for your family. Sometimes you got to make up reasons in order to step over that big wall in front of you and get to the other side. And that's your decision. And that's a decision that I think it's our duty as adults, as parents, as first responders, just as much as it's our duty to be a first responder or to be part of the military. I think it's your duty to get up and do the best that you absolutely can for your family and your community. I don't even think that's a question. I don't even question anybody on here that they wouldn't think that same thing. But, you know, that's one of the things that has me move forward and contribute instead of the alternative, which is suck from the people around me, I would rather contribute to them in a way that's going to modify their lives and their families' lives and give back, be able to give back in a way that they can only dream, that they've only dreamed of before. And because at this point now, I mean, I say this pretty in a way that 10 years ago, I did not see myself in this position. I had dreams, you know, I've always wanted things. I've always wanted to be in a position where of comfort, of security, and confidence. It didn't have it. I was a victim of my circumstances and was in that coulda, woulda, shoulda, you know, hopefully, maybe if I'm lucky enough, only the other people end up making things happen, but not me, because it hasn't happened so far. Now I'm getting too old, and it's, you know, if it hasn't happened by now, it's never going to happen. Those kind of destructive thoughts. And yet I still made a decision. And this decision has just made my life absolutely amazing. So amazing that I wish my life on people. And I don't say that to be cocky. I don't say that, you know, because I think I'm better than anybody. If you know me, you know that I will get in the trenches and get just as dirty or dirtier than anybody that's right next to me. Whether it's jumping in the mud, whether it's exhausting your body, you know, to move things forward for a team, whether it's staying up till 2 a.m. to take a call from across the world, whatever that is, I'm going to do it. And I'll gladly get up and do that because the alternative is my former life, which was 14 to 16 hours a day, working my butt off, doing construction, physically and mentally, to the point where I couldn't physically do it anymore. You know, at 40 years old, when your doctor's telling you, hey, listen, bud, you need to think about changing your career. You're going to be dead if you don't knock it off. You're the type of guy that takes on 100% of things that take 200% to complete, and you actually try to do it because you take ownership for your promises. Now, he was right, and it was killing me physically and mentally, where I was broken. So broken that I just had no flipping idea of what was going to happen next. How am I going to provide for my daughters? How am I going to pay the bills? You know, after 2008, I'm so far in debt. You know, it was almost funny to talk about how much debt I was in and to think that I was ever going to get out of that hole. And we're talking $380,000 in debt, guys, back in 2010. And, you know, so people do things out of inspiration or desperation or both. And for me, it was both. I was desperate because I had to find something I could do that would turn the tide and quickly make me an income. But I was also inspired because I wanted to fix my health and I wanted to fix my body. And so far, every doctor that I went to and numerous surgeries and all kinds of prescriptions wasn't doing it. It wasn't helping me. And lo and behold, I joined these health companies very early on. And what I found was the products that I was representing didn't even help me, except I got better. And everything else got better. And you know what got better about it? It wasn't the products that I was taking, but my stress level, I can't even reach how high it was, where I was having panic attacks, anxiety attacks. I know nobody else has ever had any of those before. I was trying to figure out how to make it to the end of the day. And so much stress. And then I noticed 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year in, that I wasn't stressed. And I was making money. And I didn't have to leave my house. I wasn't paying workers' comp insurance for the guys that work for me. I didn't have to worry about the materials not coming in on time. I didn't have to worry about the inspectors gigging all my jobs and making me wait 2 weeks and have to pay my guys to stand there and do nothing. I didn't have to pay an $800 gas bill for all the vehicles that I had to drive around. I didn't have to get up at 4:30 in the morning to make it at Lowe's or Home Depot by 5:30 in the morning so I could buy all my goods and quickly get out of the store and distribute them to all the different jobs. I didn't have to do payroll. I didn't have to worry about guys calling in sick. I didn't have to be sick and work anyways because I didn't get a day off. I didn't have to on Sunday go answer a call because somebody's toilet was broken on the second story, even though I was working in their basement. It had nothing to do with me. But if I didn't do it, I was a jerk and I wouldn't get referred. But if I did do it, I just pissed off my family. And, the buck stops with me because I'm the contractor, right? And so no matter what, it was a catch-22. All that was gone. And so, yeah, the products didn't work. And I'm not talking about my current company right now, just so you guys know. But when I first got started, I had no clue that there was a difference between one company from the next. But I was so motivated, I wanted to join them all. I was so amazed about what was happening, how I was feeling. And though the products didn't work on me, in fact, my doctor even said to stop taking them. My health got better. I wasn't on my feet. I was literally having my feet up in my electric chair on my computer. Now my thighs were hot all the time from my computer, like getting hot on my thighs while I'm sitting there in my chair typing out stuff, learning how to do Facebook. I never did Facebook before or social media. It was 2010 before I even knew what that was. I didn't know the difference between your timeline and what's in a group and how it shows up. And man, is my picture going to be good or is it not? I can't find it. I didn't know anything. I didn't even have friends. Imagine 14 to 16-hour days, 6 to 7 days a week. If I had time, I was spending it with my daughters. And, so to have friends, I didn't hang out with anybody. My friends were at Home Depot and Lowe's. I joked about calling them my second family because I saw them just as much as my own family. And those are the same guys that called me an idiot and said this stuff doesn't work. And, network marketing, I heard my brother's sister's friend's cousin's aunt did it and it didn't work out. So it must not be good, right? I got all that. You're an irresponsible father. How can you walk away from a 25-year career doing construction? How does all that work? And you didn't give it a second thought, and I didn't listen to any of it. I heard it, but I didn't let self-doubt set in so far that any of those words had any meaning to me. And I'm so glad that I didn't listen to them. All right, the same guys, by the way, that are still clocking in at Lowe's or Home Depot, maybe making a couple bucks more than they did 10, 12 years ago, but they're still clocking in. All right. I didn't consult with people who I didn't want to trade my life for or lifestyle for. I didn't listen to them. But what I did listen to was people that were much wiser than myself. And I put my head in books and learned quickly. And now I have this lifestyle that's absolutely amazing, stress-free. I get to wake up when I'm done sleeping. I mean, I'm not joking when I say that. People are like, oh, that sounds nice, but it's true. Where I live is amazing. I'm so blessed and grateful to wake up in Scottsdale, Arizona. It's sunny every day, even if it's not sunny, which it mostly is, but it's still sunny. And I get to make a difference now with people that I never even thought about. It wasn't even a first or second thought about helping anybody else because I was too worried about myself. And it's so great that I have the ability to help other people around me. And it goes back to, if you can't help yourself, there's not a whole lot of other people you can help. And, so this position, all these things I'm talking about, that that may or may not ring true for you. And if it doesn't, maybe you know somebody. But I had this thought the other day, like, man, I keep hearing these stories in social media where first responders, last year, this is fact, nurses and doctors in hospitals, they were clapping and cheering for them as heroes. First responders, right? And today, now they're looking at losing their jobs if they don't agree with the, taking a jab or whatever. And again, if you want to do it, great. If you don't, great. I think we should have that freedom and right to do it. That's a fact. That's in our Constitution, in fact. But again, they're faced with what a lot of military comes back with is, not a whole lot of options. And what's going to happen if you're the number one gunnery sergeant on a Paladin field artillery unit, there's not a whole lot of jobs you can apply for when you come back to the States that do, 155 millimeter round shots out of a howitzer. Not too many. So what are the options? And the greatest part about what I'm part of, proudly part of, and a lot of people here are part of, it's a whole new beginning with a different kind of unit, a team that we all work together. We all strive for the same goals, and we all give everyone around us a hand up and coaching and consultation and the ability to help somebody that's never done this before, but is able to step into it quickly and start making a difference. And that could be, again, starting with your health, number one, because if you don't have that, all the money in the world is worth nothing. And we could consult Steve Jobs on that because he did have all the money in the world, and look at him. I guarantee you he would have spent all of it to have one more day. And he didn't. So the first thing is your health. And we happen to be part of a health revolution where we have these negative ion DNA drops that has a delivery system that no one else on the planet has. And they have a patent on the technology. There's 15 different kinds for 15 different experiences and solutions for people's health. And they work. And not only that, they work so fantastically, people feel a difference in minutes, if not 20 minutes or so, most of the time. And I say most of the time because I can't guarantee that for everyone, because the healthier you are, the less likely you might feel the effects. And the worse off you are, as your body has so many chemicals and stuff in it, it may even take time to get rid of those things and rid your body of all the things that you've been doing wrong until it gets better. And some people like myself take an RLX and fall asleep on a webinar just like this when I did it the first time. I was sold from the minute I put one of these drops in my mouth, and I hadn't slept for 25 years, more than 4 hours a night, and it would take me till 1, 2 in the morning to fall asleep. Now, if you have that problem, I recommend RLX. That happened for me. It's happened. I've shared it with a lot of people that had my same issue, and they had the same kind of results. It's amazing what these things can do. Now, we have slides Tina and I do every Tuesday night. We go over in depth about each drop and what it does. And tonight I'm not going to do that because I just want to kind of have this conversation as like an opening, right? For people to just be engaged with my story and what we're a part of and what you can be a part of as well. But there's a second part to this, and that's the business side of this, which I think is just as important as the health side, right? Without your health, all the money in the world's not going to be good. But if you're broke, right, and you have your health and you still have no money or no resources, you're still stuck. You still have less options. And to me, money's not everything. It means freedom. It means options. It means family. It means spending time with the people that you love the most. It means not giving your kids an excuse because you got to go to work and sorry, honey, I can't make your recital because daddy's got to go finish this job. It was heartbreaking back in the day. For the first, I'd say 7 years of my daughter's lives, I missed a lot. And I'm so grateful that today I love getting up early in the morning and taking my daughter to high school. And I also love in the afternoon going to pick her up. That's something I never got to do a lot of. I was gone before they even woke up. And so I'm grateful that I'm in that position. I know a lot of people want to be in the same position, be there for their kids, and it's not that you don't want to, but you're in a position that you can't, right? You feel stuck. Well, what can I do? How can I change that? What can change that I can, live up to the expectations of my family and kids and husband or wife or extended family and friends? Because really, ultimately, and people understand this, by the way, when you say, hey, I got to work, especially nowadays, because people are working 2, 3 different jobs to make ends meet. And, this moratorium that hasn't been lifted on, the housing, rental properties and houses and stuff like that, that's going to cause a whole nother 2008 crash, in my opinion, that could be coming. Are you prepared for that? Are you prepared? Are you prepared that this country might get locked down again? That we might be forced to do things that we don't want to do. And, we're only, the big box stores are open, but your mom and pop shop isn't essential. And by the way, you have to close or else. That's happened. Never saw it happening. And I never thought I would see that happening in my lifetime, but it did. We just all went through it. And there's people that aren't on the news, that aren't being broadcast, that are being suppressed on social media and taken off for speaking truths about their situation. And people feel lost, like there's nowhere to go, nothing to do. And to me, it's our collective duty to reach out and help people. And to me, the only way I know how to do that is something that I'm doing right now, because there's thousands of people on this team right now that have been helped and that are now helping themselves. And beyond that, helping themselves and helping others. The Pay It Forward system is the most amazing thing I've ever seen in any kind of business, where we all benefit, every one of us. But you got to take that stand, and you got to be willing to let go of some of the circumstances. And trust me, if anybody in your mind right now is going, yeah, but man, you just don't understand, Kelly. There's like, it is like, I'm in desperate, dire situations. I know. I believe it or not, I do get it, right? I've lived in my truck for weeks before because I was too prided to go home to my parents. I vowed that once I left, I was gone. I've done things that I didn't like doing, but there's still hope. And there's still things that you can do. And I don't care where you got to start, but you got to start. And that's the point that we need to get across to as many people as possible. Because if you don't start something today, the question is, when will you? And will it be too late once you do? Right? Because who knows what's going to happen next? We just don't know. I'm seeing things that I never thought was possible for this country. Like scratching my head going, man, but at the same time, here's what I'm grateful for. In this company, APL Go, we're not regulated to wear a mask. We're not regulated to not wear a mask. We don't have to get vaccinated. We don't have to not get vaccinated. We have a choice. We got all kinds of choices. We don't have to shut our doors. We could actually literally be in our closet, worrying ourselves into a blind fury and still make calls and share this opportunity with people around us. There's no stopping what we have. And because of that, it's even more and more attractive to a lot of people who are looking. Because I don't know about you, most people don't have 2 to 4 years to go back to school and either A, pay for it, or B, just take the time to be retrained for something else that might not even be there once they're done completing that college, right? It may not even be there. But this is a learn and earn at the same time. So, and I say learn because there is some things to learn, but there's nothing you have to have a degree for. I look at degree and turn that word into desire, because you do have to have that, and that's for free. That's free. Desire is free. That's just a decision that you make, that you want to do something about your circumstances. Now, the company has a compensation plan that is just utterly amazing. And I'm asking you to take my word for it, because I could cut out about 3 hours worth of comparisons to all the different companies that I've investigated to get to the point where I am today, where I could just say, listen, we genuinely have the best compensation plan in the industry on the planet. And I'll just tell you real quickly, I'll just give you a few stats. Most companies in our industry pay between 35 and 45% in their compensation plan. This one pays 63%, or 63 cents on the dollar. That's a huge divide, right? And we're all doing the same things, by the way, but we get paid more for it. We have part of our plan that you get paid to help somebody succeed. It's like, what better way would you want to be compensated? How much pride would you have to say, listen, I just earned an income because I just helped Curry Russell or Valerie Singley or Linda McBee earn an income. And because I helped them do that, I get paid for that. And because they're going to turn around and help people do that, they're going to get paid for doing that. If businesses were run that way in America today, what do you think would happen if you walked into your office or your job and they said, hey, Kelly, can't wait. So glad you're here. Thanks for being here. Guess what? Today, I'm going to show you every bit of knowledge that I know, because not only do I want you to do as well as me, I want you to make even more than me. And not only that, I'm going to show you how to do it for free. You don't have to pay me anything to do this. And I'm going to make sure that you're like a complete rock star. What do you think? I mean, you know how turned on people would be if they walked into their office and that's what their boss told them? The production level would go up probably like 1,000,000-fold if that's how it was done, but it's not done that way. Let's face it, it's not, but it is done here. That's how it's done. You actually get recognized for participating, and the greatest part about that is, no, you're probably not going to be the giant rock star of the team on the first day, although that's possible. I'm not going to rule that out. But regardless, you're going to get recognized for the actions that you're taking. And let's face it, we all want recognition. We all want to feel like we're making a difference. I don't care on what level. We just want that as human beings. And to say, well, I don't need to be recognized for this or that, you're lying to yourself. We all want approval. We want approval from even mothers and fathers that were crappy to us. And yet we still want their approval. It's just human nature to want recognition, to feel like you're a contribution to something. And, studies have said that when you're recognized at your workplace, and whether it's or a soccer team or team sports or anything of the sort, that your level of appreciation and your value goes up because of it. Overwhelmingly, your desire to want to show up goes up even more. just for a little bit of recognition. And the old saying goes is people will work harder for recognition than they will for anything else, including money, because they're so desperate just to be unique and contribute in some way to somebody else or something else. And that's just a fact. And that's the greatest part about this business is we get to do that on a daily basis. We get to do it, in fact, as much as we want. And I love cheering people on. I love people going for it. And, you know, it's the greatest thing to see somebody start something. And, you know, I'll just make an example because I know Curry won't mind. But I remember Curry Russell talking to Tina on the phone, and we're explaining to Curry about this company. And we're like, Curry, aren't you like just so excited? What's your level of excitement for this company? And he says, I'll be honest, man, I'm at like a level 2. And like, I just, you know, I don't know what it is. I'm just like at a level 2 about this. You know, I'm just not getting it. You know, I don't have a testimony. And, you know, I don't know what to say, but, you know, and I love this about Curry because whether it's good or bad news, he's just going to be honest with you. I like to take on that as well. You know, if you want me to tell you the truth, you might not like it because I literally will tell you the truth. And I love the fact that he was honest about that. And then it was just like a month later, you know, I couldn't get Curry to shut up about how excited he was. And not only that, and I'm not talking about the fact that he made a bundle of money, but I'm talking about the fact he has a personal testimony on one of our drops that changed his life, literally changed his life. Now, I go to bed happy about that. I love that I played a small part in that, you know, and we get to do that. That's what we get to do. We get to contribute to people. And there's some people that are so alone that have 0 people in their lives. They, you know, even at their church, they feel like they're in the corner. Nobody sees them, like they're a ghost, or any other group that they're in, but not here. People's names get known on this team, in this company. And, you know, I set this year out. My goal for the year was to make people feel significant. Because I look around me and I see how desperate people are to just want to make a difference. Like with themselves, with their family, with the people around them. And not only that, they want to be recognized for doing that. And not only that, they want to be part of something bigger than themselves. And not only that, they want to be able to have abundance. Just think right now, I want everybody just to say that word like it's not a bad thing, right? A lot of people, when they hear abundance, they hear like in, you know, overstock.com. And I'm not talking about that kind of abundance. I'm talking about an abundance in your life of all the things that you want, whatever that is. An abundance of friends, maybe it's an abundance of recognition, abundance of money, abundance of health, an abundance of freedom, an abundance of vacations, an abundance of seeing your family that you've only seen in the last decade, one time, that you have an abundance of time with them. But let's face it, this word abundance became very clear to me because the better you do here, the more abundance you have. And I'm not talking about money. Money is just a tool, in my opinion, that allows you the freedom to have choices and the abundance of time with the people you love the most. Nobody goes to their deathbed thinking, you know what, I really wished I spent less time with all the people in my family and my friends. Nobody said that ever. It's the opposite. It's the regret that they didn't take time because they were too busy. They were too busy working, trying to survive and grind it out week to week, month to month, wishing for something better. but it felt like nothing ever landed. You don't get mad at me because I just hit the table. But nothing landed in front of them that they thought was worth sacrificing a little bit of time for. And what I'm talking about with this opportunity, and this opportunity has started a year ago. 10 out of 10 people in your neighborhood have no clue what APL Go is right now. In another couple of years, I would say about 5 out of 10 people are going to know. In about 5 years, 9 out of 10 people are going to know about this company. Now, what are we all told when we buy stocks? Buy low and sell high, right? And I'm not saying to sell your stock or your position, but it's always get in on the ground level. It's just a common thing. The people don't do it because there's usually too much risk, right? Take your life savings and go buy Bitcoin right now. And I guarantee you a few people are going to go, well, I don't know, man, because I've seen it go up and down pretty high and pretty low, and it's pretty rocky. Well, that's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about a couple $100 can get you a fortune. Curry Russell's a testament to that because he started with just a few $100. And now he's probably making that daily, right? Because of one decision. That's not a ton of money to put at risk, in my humble opinion, when you could build a fortune making one decision by starting something. And, the greatest thing about this is we don't have to convince anybody of anything. All right, people taste the drops. They put them in their mouth. They automatically are going to like it. I pretty much promise you that. I would say 9.9 people are going to love it. Kids love it. People get results pretty quickly. And by the way, some people don't get results quickly, if I'm being honest, but then they do get results because some people, everybody is different. This is not like an end-all solution to everything that's going to happen in 5 minutes and make you levitate off the ground the moment you put it in your mouth. For me, that happened. For Dale Calvert, that happened. For a lot of people that I've given these drops to, that happened. But if it doesn't happen for you, it doesn't mean it doesn't work. We have a 500-page health guide for all these drops. It's a lot of information. I promise you, if you read just the first 3 pages, you're going to go, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And I'm just talking about the first 3 pages, much less the whole 500-page book. These things are great for you. All right. And I didn't want to bore you with all the details and scientific facts because I'm not one. I'm not a scientist. I don't get into that conversation of science because I lack the knowledge to carry a conversation intelligently with the molecular structure and breakdown of your cells and DNA and all. I just don't. I don't have that. I could repeat some words and that's about it. But I did that on purpose because you don't have to know all that. And I'm in the top highest paid, one of the highest paid positions in the company, and I don't know a whole lot about science. In fact, I don't know a whole lot about a lot of people have on me as I never went to college. I barely made it out of high school. All right, but I have this between my ears right here, which is a brain to think with. And I just did specific actions that we show everybody how to do. And we rinse and repeat. That's it. It's literally mastering the mundane. If you can invite somebody to a birthday party, including yours, then you can do this business. If you can do what you did in kindergarten and do show and tell, look, class, I brought some drops to school. Would you like to try some? All right. If you could do that, you could do this business. If you can hold a conversation for more than 5 minutes, you could do this business. If you can listen to what people say and what they want and hear what they want and what solution that you might have for them, you could definitely do this business. But I promise you, if you were a fly on the wall when I was talking to somebody about what we do here, I spend less time talking and more time listening in the whole conversation. And then I just listen for specific things, which is oh, my back hurts, my side hurts, or I don't have enough money. I wish I could do that. I wish I could drive a Jeep like you. And I'm like, hey, that's great. Would it be okay if I showed you how to do that? Do you really want to know? Because I'm willing to show you. Would it be okay if I sent you some information? If you could say that line, would it be okay if I sent you a video on what I'm talking about? Because I'm actually not a scientist, and this video will explain it a lot better than I can. Would it be okay if I sent that to you? Would it be okay if I put you on a series of emails, which looks like I'm going to barrage your email box every day with something about information about this company until you say stop? Would that be okay? I literally say that to people, by the way. And you know what happens? They look at all the emails because I told them what to count on, right? So if you can let people know what they could count on from you, which is whatever that is, as long as you follow through with what you said, then you can do this business. If you can let go of talking about the drastic, nasty stuff that has happened to you in the past, like literally, I don't like talking a lot about it because then I relive that moment every time I do, right? Why would you want to do that? If you're willing to let go of that and not let it dictate right now, an hour from now, tomorrow, and the next day, and the next month, and the next year, then you could do this business. If you hang on to it, that's your choice, but you're just hanging on to misery, right? And to me, I would rather show somebody a way up, not a way back, because the way back, I don't know anybody that says, man, I really wish I could just really be right back in those crappy situations that I got myself into or found myself into because they were so wonderful. I just want to repeat that. Said no one ever, right? So I'm going to sum this up because I've been flapping my mouth here for about an hour. And quite honestly, I did not prepare anything for this conversation. Like I didn't take notes. I just came on here because I have this burning desire, right, to include first responders, military, police, fire, nurses, doctors, people that go above and beyond and put their lives on the line, right, and seem to never get the real appreciation for that, and include them that, like, listen, beyond that, beyond all that you've done, there is opportunity for you. Whether you are the best sniper on the planet, or you've arrested the most criminals, or you've saved the most lives in a hospital, and you're done, or you're over, you're burned out, you have PTSD, whatever that is, there's still hope for you and for the people that you know that are in the same position, because I'm going to give you a stat right now that's going to amaze you. Because I looked it up. Did you know that some of the top people in this awesome industry that are literally at the top of their game, make the most amount of money, have the most amount of influence, are first responders, military, police, fire, doctors, are some of the top people in our industry. So that's you. If you're on here and that's you, I'm literally calling to you, letting you know that you already have what it takes to do this times 10. You've already done stuff in your lives that is just astronomical. Even if you just went through basic training, that's pretty huge. Most people don't do that, by the way, but you did. Be proud of that. So if you've made it through that, then this is like a cakewalk, because that, I guarantee, was much harder. Some of the training that people have gone through, or circumstances in their actual job that they've performed, is like a million times harder than this could ever be. So you guys got this. And I'm calling you out to invite people. I hadn't even thought about doing another one of these like this. It may be a little bit more structured, But, I'll leave it up to you guys, and maybe you could reach out to me and say, hey, maybe we do want to have a first responder, military, veteran, uh, you know, webinar to reach out to people so they feel included, because they could rock this and they need it. We all know people. I'm not even asking, I'm just assuming we all know people that we could reach out to and give them a leg up, and give them the opportunity to shine once again. But that includes themselves shining at the same time. Instead of giving everything they got for everybody else, it's time to give to themselves, or for you to give to them an opportunity to at least find out what's available and what can happen. And, I think there is going to be a next time now that I'm thinking about it, because I want to hear some of your guys' stories on, what happened for you. Because there is life beyond being willing to give the ultimate sacrifice. And I think if we reached out on that level and literally got people working on themselves, involved in something, we can make a bigger difference and have people get recognized on a whole new level that's uplifting and positive, and that's going to ultimately change their lives for the better and the people around them. So that's my plea. That's my statement. That's why I was motivated to do this call. And I'm just grateful for all of you who are on the team that are part of this right now. And thanks in advance for reaching out to people in your community and to include them in this, because nobody knows about this company yet. We're just getting started. And the explosion, and it's going to happen here in this next year, is going to be outrageous. And it's already been outrageous, by the way. And we're not even fully launched yet. And, there's people I'm looking at right now are, smiling because things are going extremely well for them, and including myself. It's amazing what can happen when you start something. But we can help others start the same thing, because we need people, and those people need us. And they need somebody to give them the hope that they're looking for, to be part of something bigger than themselves or their own circumstances right now. And into the future, to me, it's kind of like that security blanket of financial freedom, just in case, right, things don't take a turn for the better. And I think a lot of people would agree with me. It doesn't look great right now. It's just hard to, see anything positive on any kind of news right now. But listen, we can make a difference for people. We can't save everybody, but we can save a lot. And when I say save, give this opportunity away that somebody could grab hold of it and turn their lives around because of it. So I appreciate everybody coming on here. If you are friends with me on Facebook, I would love your feedback in a private message to see what we can do to continue this. I call it the reach out, for first responders, and include a lot more people that have counted themselves out because they don't think they have anything else left, or there's anything left for them to do. And there's plenty. And I would love to give them a home. I would love to give them recognition. I would love to support and start the number one community in the company, in fact, that supports first responders. How great would that be? So I look forward to all, your feedback. You can personal message me, and then maybe we'll set this up and do something more consistent here. But to me, this was to start something. And I think it's a start of something great. And I think it's great that we are inclusive to those that we know that just don't think there's any hope anymore. And I'd love to bring it to them. Thanks for being here, guys. I'll see you.